Greetings for the day. Welcome to another session of Cyber Law and Ethics. My name is Mohammad Rahmat Ali. So, in today's session, we are going to continue the cyber crimes part. But before we start our today's class, let me revise what are the things that we have studied in the previous session. In the previous session, we studied about the types of cyber crime and we studied about how cyber crime works and the different part with reference to how, like the starting part with reference to the different types of cyber crimes. Now, in the last session, we studied about the cyber extortion and cryptojacking. In today's session, we are going to continue that part and study the identity theft. Now, what do you mean by identity theft? Identity theft is a phenomenon or a mechanism in which you will behave as a third person or a fake person will be pretending as an original person so that his particular words can be believable or people can believe on that particular thing. For example, with reference to hijacking or what do you call as compromising email ID and sending email from your email address or hacking your, you can say, your email ID or compromising the security issues from your email ID and sending emails from your email address to other people. For example, XYZ person is there and that person email ID is been hacked, and from that XYZ person email address many of the mails are been sent that I am being stuck in that particular place, I need this particular amount of money, please revert back quickly as soon as you see this particular email, or you can call me on this particular number as I don't have any of the things but because I am stuck on this number. The moment you give the call on that particular number or the moment you send any of the details on that particular information provided, your account will also be hacked. Now, how it has been done? This is done with reference to the identity theft. What was identity theft? Like XYZ person did not send that particular email. Who has sent that email? An hacker has sent an email pretending that XYZ person. So that is what we call as identity theft. So what it says over here, an attack that occurs when an individual accesses a computer to gleans a user's personal information, which they then use to steal the personal identity or access their valuable accounts, such as a bank and credit cards. Okay. Now next one is with reference to next one it says cyber criminals buy and sell identity information on darknet market, offering financial account as well as other types of account like video streaming services, emails, web mails, video and audio streaming, online auctions and more. Like if at all, if you have observed, many of the YouTubers account is being hacked and some of the charity streaming, not charity streaming, some of the streaming is been done and they ask bitcoins in that particular stream. How it is been done? This is done with reference to the identity theft. But because he or she is a big YouTuber, then only you are able to understand what about the emails, what are the messages that you get on your mobile phone or WhatsApp and different things. So you should be well aware of all the things like with reference to the identity theft. The last point says is personal health information is another frequent target for identity thieves. For example, XYZ person is suffering from sugar, diabetic or hypertension. Now he has done the reports in the hospital. The next day he will get messages based on diabetics, based on hypertension, based on all of these things, how to improve health and how to all these things. How this particular information is been done? The attackers will attack in such a way, or the person will take identity of yours and will send information to yours. Now the next one is with reference to the credit card fraud. You better know this part, how credit card frauds are being done. If at all, see, you will get a lot of calls for credit cards but not for debit cards. If at all, if you observe, if at all, if you have been registered for any of the bank, you will get credit card calls but not for the debit card. But because debit card is connected to your account, whereas debit card is connected to your account, whereas credit card is not been connected to your account. It has some limits. Now this limits gives an access to the hackers and for the people to compromise the security and take down the money. And sometimes when you do a transaction, you may not get the messages, but still the transaction happens. This is also one of the things that you should take care of. If at all, if you are not getting the messages, you should directly go to the bank and ask them why I am not getting the messages when I'm making transactions. And also you should enable 2D transactions. Two-step formula you should apply. Okay. Now what it says, an attack that occurs when hackers infiltrate retailer system to get the credit card and or banking information of their customers. Stolen payment cards can be bought and sold in bulk on darknet markets, where hacking groups that have stolen mass quantities of credit card profits by selling at lower level cyber criminals who profit through credit card fraud against individual accounts. Like I have told you in the previous days, there was an cyber attack on Air India and Domino's. 7.3 terabytes of data was being obtained from only from these two companies. Now imagine, like when you are ordering any of the food, when you are entering the payment details, think about it like how secure this particular all the things is. And also, if at all if you want to see your email ID whether it was been compromised or not, there is an website by the name Have I Been Pwned, well, PAWND. In this you can go and see whether your email address is been compromised or not. The next one is with reference to the CyberSpongy, which says a criminal involving a cyber criminal or a crime involving a cyber criminal who hacks into system or network to gain access to confidential information held by a government or other organization. Okay. Further, attacks may be motivated by profit or by ideology. Further, CyberSpongy activities can include every type of cyber attack to gather, modify or destroy data, as well as using network connected devices like webcam, closed circuit TV or CCTV cameras to spy on a targeted individual or groups and monitoring communication including emails, text messages and instant messages. Now this is very important, and this need to be taken into consideration when you are using your laptops, when you are using your mobile phones, when you are using your palm tops, when you are using any of the electronic device which has been connected to internet and it has got some of the input resources, then that can be monitored. The laptop that you are carrying and the mobile phone that you are carrying in your pocket does not belong to you. It is manufactured by third parties, and who knows that that particular person is spying on you from that particular mobile phones. So you should be well aware of all of these things. Like sometimes the CCTV cameras can be monitored only for one location to get the information, and there are a lot of things with reference to, like also with reference to the calls that you will be getting from unknown person to come on the video calls, and you will be blackmailed for that particular video that was being captured. Recently, many of the cases happened in Hyderabad with reference to this particular thing, with reference to VoIPs, voice over IP calls, and different things. So you should be well aware of all of these things that is happening around you. The next one is with reference to software piracies. This is a very common thing that everyone is been involved directly or indirectly. We install pirated softwares. These pirated softwares comes with some of the attackers inbuilt code, which will access either your contact details, or will access your media, or will access your notes, or will access your calendar, or it can access whole of your root directory. So software piracies or pirated things are very, very dangerous. Now what it says, an attack that involves the unlawful copying, distribution and use of software programs with the intention of commercial or personal use. Now further, trademark violation, copyright infringements and patent violations are often associated with this type of cyber crime. See, as you are using internet, you might not be knowing a particular thing. You might not be knowing a particular thing, but in the frame of cyberspace, you might be considered as a cyber criminal if at all if you are violating that particular rule. Though you might not be knowing that particular thing, but you might be considered as a cyber criminal. So you should be very much well aware on clicking on ads, clicking on any of the unknown links, and clicking on or accessing those websites which are prohibited within the jurisdiction area. So this is very important with reference to software piracy, also with reference to downloading the things from the internet. Now the next one is with reference to the exit scams. This is the common one, and this is very dangerous too. The dark web, not surprisingly, has given rise to the digital version of an old crime known as the exit scam. See, I should not emphasize on these things, but you should be well aware of this thing, the dark net. This has become the major, you can say, the addiction of the modern day people, and many of the people are getting arrested due to visiting the dark web websites. This is very dangerous, and you should be, well aware what you are accessing. Okay, dark web is another part of internet which has all of the, like, it does not have any of the major restrictions, and it has not been monitored. Now there you can do anything that you want. If at all, if you have been caught, then you will be put behind the bars without the bail. So don't get into all of these offenses. You should be well much aware of this dark web. Okay, now in today's form, a dark web administrator diverts virtual currency held in marketplaces, escrows accounts to their own accounts, essentially criminal stealing from others criminally. Okay, the people who visits the dark web and all these things are the criminal people only, and unlawful activities happens in the dark web. Now next one is with reference to the effect of cybercrime on businesses. What is the effect of cybercrime on businesses? Now if at all, if you're running a business, for example, uh, you are selling an online things, like you have a clothes store which is been sending online, like you trade in online things. What I have done is, like, I have put n number of orders on your website in such a way that your website will not respond to anyone's request for now, or I might make uneven traffic on your website, or I can order all of those products on your from your store, and I will not pay that particular thing. I will hold that particular orders, but I will not pay for that things. I will not pay for that particular thing. So this is also a type of uh, cybercrime which will affect the business. Now what it says over here, a true cause of cybercrime is difficult to access or assess accurately. In 2018, McAfee released a report on economic impact of cybercrime that estimates the likely annual cost to the global economy was nearly 600 billions, uh, up from 45 billions in 2014. You see the drastic change from 45 billion to 600 billion within a span of 4 years. So this is the effect of cybercrime. Okay, further it says, while the financial losses due to cybercrime can be significant, businesses can also suffer other disastrous consequences as a result of criminal cyber attacks, including the following. For the damage to investors' perceptions after a security breach can cause a drop in the value of a company. Now, in addition to potential share price drops, businesses may also face increased cost for borrowing and greater difficulties in raising more capital as a result of cyber attack. Loss of sensitive customer data can result in fines and penalties for companies that have failed to protect their customers' data. Businesses may also be used over the data breach. Further, damaged brand identity and loss of reputation after a cyber attack undermine customers' trust in a company and that company's ability to keep their financial data safe. Following a cyber attack, firm not only loses current customer, but they also lose the ability to gain new customers. Because if at all they have been hacked, like, next time will you book any of the tickets on Air India when you are aware that it has been attacked? Will you book a pizza from Domino's that recently the database was been compromised? No, you will not. So if cyber crimes and accessing unlawful data, breaching the data, hacking the data will give a greater loss to the companies. Okay. Further, it says businesses may also incur direct costs from a criminal cyber attack, including increased insurance premium cost and the cost of hiring cyber security companies to do incident response and remediation, as public relation and other services related to an attack. So this was with reference to the attacks, with reference to on attacks with reference to cyber crime on businesses. Now, how to prevent these cyber crimes? How can we prevent these cyber crimes? While it may not be possible to completely eradicate cybercrime and ensure complete internet security, businesses can reduce their exposure to it by maintaining a few effective cybersecurity strategies using a defense in depth approach to secure system networks and data. Now, see, if at all, if you are aware, like for in every of the banks there will be a security guard. Whenever the bank is open, there will be a security guard. Why there will be a security guard? The security guard is used to guard that particular place for that particular instance. Also, with reference to some of the ATMs wherein there will be high chances of getting theft, there will be a security guard. Why that security guard? Though that security guard might be weak, but that is been kept as a symbol that it is been protected. So cyber crime cannot be eradicated 100%, and if at all someone says that I can eradicate cyber crime, it means he is giving a fraud statement. He is a fraud one. There is nothing like securing everything. There might be a chance that we can secure 60%, 70%, 75%, 80%, but we cannot secure 100%. It is highly impossible to secure 100% of the data. So we will be using improving techniques. See, always the criminal will be one step ahead of the developer, then only the crime happens. That's only the reason the crime happens. If at all the development or the police is one step ahead, then there will be no crimes. So that's the thing. As the crime happens, new technology, new policies will be implemented. Now, further, cybercrime risk can be reduced with the following steps. The first one is with reference to develop clear policies and procedure for businesses and employees. Create a cyber security incident response management plan to support these policies and procedures. Outline the security measures that are in place about how to protect system and corporate data. Use two-factor authentication. This is very important. I request everyone to enable this particular option on any of the things, like whether it might be with reference to WhatsApp, whether with reference to Instagram, whether with reference to your Gmail, whether it can be with reference to your bank account, anything. I request everyone to enable this two-factor authentication, because it will give you an advantage of securing the information. Use two-factor authentication apps for physical security keys. The next one, it says, activate two-factor authentication on every online accounts when possible. The last one, it says, verbally verify the authenticity or request to send money by talking to financial manager. Now, further it says, create intrusion detection system. Now, I'll tell you what intrusion detection system is. Intrusion detection system is one thing and intrusion prevention is another thing. I'll tell you what is the difference in the coming session, but as of now, intrusion detection system is a mechanism wherein it will detect the frauds, it will detect the what you call as intrusions. Also, it will detect the unlawful people accessing the information. Okay, this mechanism is created in such a way that it will learn from the previous experiences of its own. For example, there was a cyber attack last time with reference to this particular machine. So it will see to that particular machine should not get access to the network. Or last time the cyber crime happened due to a small malware. Or the last time the cyber crime happened due to inserting of additional memory card or additional memory device to the system. So it will see to it that that particular thing will not happen for the next time. So this is with reference to the intrusion detection system. So create intrusion detection system rules that flags email with extension similar to company's email. Also, if at all, if you know, with reference to the company email ID, you cannot send any of the email with your company email ID to other people of other mail addresses. Also, other people cannot send email on the company's mail ID. This will be some of the policies. Why? The policy is been created only to monitor safe traffic, to monitor only safe things are being moved on the internet within that organization. Now, next one, it says carefully scrutinize all email requests for transfer of funds to determine if their requests are out of the ordinary. Next one, continually trains employees on cyber security policies and procedures and what to do in the event of security breaches. For an example, in the modern day, interdisciplinary subjects are being introduced. Why? Because to make aware of every other things. Like for example, I want to develop an application for financial institution. So I should be well aware of all of the financial transactions that happens. Then only I can develop an application. If at all some of the employees working in a bank, you should be well aware of the cyber security threats. You should be well aware of the threats happening with reference to injecting of any of the pen drive or downloading any of the application from the web. You should, the person should be well aware of that particular thing. So interdisciplinary things are to be done. So that is what's been said over here. Every of the employee, regardless of their job, should be trained on different issues of cyber security. As of now we are talking about cyber security, we'll see only with reference to cyber security. They should be well versed trained on this particular thing, and they should be well aware of all of this thing, so that if some cyber attack happens, they can take quick steps so that that particular data can be safeguarded. Okay, now next one, it says keep websites, endpoint devices and system current with all software release update or patches, and backup data and information regularly to reduce damage in case of ransomware attack or data breach. Now what do you mean by this? If at all some attack happens and the person says, I will release resources only if you pay me this particular amount. At this particular instance of time, we cannot stop the transactions. If at all, if you stop the transaction, there will be a loss of crores and crores of rupees. So what, if at all that system is being distributed system instead of centralized system, if at all that particular system is a distributed system, then it can act quickly and it can recover quickly. You can change the passwords, you can change the data, you can change the network setting, etc. Anything can happen. So this is a very important thing with reference to the cyber attacks. Now, IPR issues. IPR stands for the intellectual property rights. This is a very interesting topic with reference to the privacy and copyright issues. This is the topic that we are going to see in the next session. We'll stop it over here. If at all you have any doubt with reference to today's session, please ping me at hamad_letu@com, or we can have a doubt clarification session on any of the day mentioned. Thank you for listening to today's session. See you in the next class.